14.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.
Welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am Bellis Quetta and thanks for joining us today. Now the news making the rounds. Bill seeking to eliminate discrimination against women scales second reading. Tanzanians mourn death of their president. Dutch election. Prime Minister Mark Rutte claims victory and fourth term. Federal government approves $1.5 billion for Port Harcourt refinery rehabilitation. And on sports, ahead of 200 million pounds fight with Fury, Mayweather to train Joshua. Stay with us as the details of the news come after the short timeout. Welcome back. Now the news in details. 2023 PDP committee throws presidential ticket open. The 2019 election review committee set up by the People's Democratic Party PDP to assess its performance in the last general election has urged the leadership of the party to allow interested party members vie for the 2023 presidency, irrespective of the geopolitical zones. And the chairman of the committee and governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed, gave the recommendation at the party's secretariat in Abuja while presenting the report of the committee to the National Working Committee of the PDP yesterday. And the committee anchored its position on the fact that across the land, Nigeria boasts of good hands capable of bailing the country out of a current quagmire. And the committee also called for support of the ongoing electoral reform while urging the military to take the back seat in the conduct of future elections. And to make progress, particularly with 2023 in sight, the Bala Mohammed-led committee urged the leadership of the PDP to promote practices that will deepen democracy, promote national unity, and inspire greater faith in the country, especially amongst the youths and several stakeholder groups yearning for inclusion, the reported stress. And it also made a case of youth and women inclusiveness in the governance model of the PDP going forward. In another development, police unveils 100 traffic personnel in Kano. The police command in Kano State on Wednesday inaugurated 100 traffic personnel who were trained to ensure safer road and free traffic flow in the state. The traffic personnel are part of the state special constabulary under the Committee Policing Initiative. The Commandant Special Constabulary in the state, Mr. Mohammed Bello, said on Wednesday in Kano at the inauguration of the personnel. And Bello said that they were first trained traffic personnel since the commencement of the community policing by the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Muhammad Adamu. And Bello commented the CP of Kano, Mr. Samaila Diko, for training the traffic personnel and urged them to fear God while discharging their duties and be of good behavior. And also speaking, the Commissioner of Police urged the new traffic personnel to remain dedicated to their work. And Diko called on all the special security agencies and well-meaning individuals to work together in fighting crime in the state. In his remark, Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, who was represented by the managing director of the Kano Road and Traffic Agency, Korata, Dr. Bafa Dan Agundi, commended the police for training the personnel. He said the government will continue to assist the command in its effort of protecting lives and property. And now moving forward, the bill seeking to eliminate discrimination against women scales second reading. A bill for an act seeking to eliminate all forms of discrimination against women has scaled second reading at the House of Representatives. And Rep. Saidu Abdullahi, who sponsored the bill, said that it will provide a mechanism for enforcing provisions of the Universal Declaration of the Protection of Human Rights. And he added that the bill will also enforce International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women in Nigeria. He said that it will help to enforce protocol on the African Charter of Human and People's Rights on the rights of women in Africa. And the Rep. Linda Ikpezu, while contributing to the debate, said that the bill was laudable and would help to curtail all forms of discrimination against the women folk. Now, she urged the members to allow the bill to pass while commenting the sponsor of the bill. And on news coming from around Africa, Tanzanians mourn the death of their president. 14 days of national mourning have been declared in Tanzania to mark the death of President John Magufuli, who died at the age of 61. Tanzanian Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan, in an address on the state television Wednesday, said President Magufuli had died hours earlier from heart complications at a hospital in Dar es Salaam. And Tundu Lissu, Tanzania's opposition leader, has said that President John Magufuli's death had not come as a surprise to him. Mr. Lissu, who lives in exile in Belgium, said he had known that Mr. Magufuli was gravely ill and all along since he tweeted on the 7th of March asking about the whereabouts of the president. And tributes have been pouring in for the Tanzanian's President John Magufuli, who died on Wednesday. And Somalia's President Mohamed Farmajo has sent his condolences to the Tanzanian people and the family of President John Magufuli. Former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan has also eulogized Tanzanian President John Magufuli as a partner in democracy and a patriot who loved his country. And still from around Africa, there Ethiopians protest Ethiopians protest the deadly Yemen migrant center blaze. The United Nations on Tuesday called for a probe into a fire that killed dozens of migrants at a holding facility in Yemen's capital after Human Rights Watch said it was started by Houthi rebels. The right group said the detainees, most of them Ethiopian, had been protesting against overcrowding on March 7 when camp guards rounded up hundreds of them in a hangar. Then they fired unidentified projectiles into the building, it said, and footage of the aftermath showed dozens of charred bodies piled on top of one another and strewed across the ground. One person was heard crying out in prayers, and the United Nations envoy for Yemen, Martin Griffith, told the Security Council on Tuesday that there must be an independent investigation into the cause of the fire. He said dozens had died and over 170 were seriously injured. Griffith said the extraordinary horrific fire had reminded the world of the plight of a migrant community, and the Iran-backed Houthi rebels control most of the North Yemen, including the capital Sana'a, whose capture from the Saudi-backed government in 2014 sparked a devastating war. And despite warnings from the civil society groups, migrants from the nearby Horn of Africa continue to transit through the war-torn and impoverished country, seeking a better life in the wealthy neighboring Gulf Arab states. We'll go on a short break right now. When we come back, we'll get more updates from the United Kingdom. Stay with us.
wait is over. You can now connect to Celebration TV's official website, www.mycelebrationtv.com. Specially designed for your satisfaction, you get to access a lineup of inclusive contents and programs of Celebration TV. Get the latest updates and news stories from our news desk. Be kept abreast on infos about all outreaches and events of the Resurrection Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman. Watch Celebration TV on the go via our 24/7 live streaming service. With all these and more, we make your partnership with us as we take the gospel around the world way easier with just a click. Hurry now. Visit www.mycelebrationtv.com.
From Sunday, we are having 4 Super Sundays. And Super Sunday is miracles, healing, miracles. So get ready for Super Sundays. It's going to be a great time, but we'll need to pray, and there will be signs, there will be wonders.
4 Super Sundays with Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Date 21st March through 11th April 2021. Happening live at Omega Farm Ministries headquarters, kilometer 132 Benin Okene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. Come witness God's wonders.
Welcome back. Now news from the United Kingdom. COVID vaccine, government facing questions over supply to UK. The UK government is facing questions over coronavirus vaccine supply after warnings of a significant reduction. It is understood a delivery of millions of doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca jab produced by the Serum Institute of India has been held up by 4 weeks. And the NHS warns of a reduction in supply in England in April in a letter to a local health organization. The Department of Health insists it is still on track to offer a first dose to all adults by the end of July. Health Secretary Mark Harcourt said the UK was ahead of schedule to offer a first dose to all people aged over 50 by the 15th of April at a briefing at Downing Street on Wednesday. And more than 25 million people in the UK have had the first dose of a COVID vaccine, while around 1.7 million had had a second jab. And after opening up appointments to over all 50s on Wednesday, the NHS in England was then told not to offer jabs to younger age groups throughout April. And earlier this month, it agreed to supply 10 million doses for the UK, but only half of these will arrive this month, with the rest delayed for several weeks. And now moving forward to Dutch election, Prime Minister Mark Rutte claims victory and 4th term. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte's party has won the most seats in parliamentary elections, latest projections show. And victory hands Mr. Rutte mandate to form a new coalition government led by his center-right Liberal VVD party, with a 4th term as Prime Minister. And his last government resigned in January over a child welfare fraud scandal. And while his party was set to win 36 out of 150 seats, another Liberal party, the center-left D66, was the other big winner of the night with 24 seats. The far-right PVV was projected to win 17 seats, while 2 other right-wing populist parties did well too. And the left-wing party fared poorly, and the central-right Christian CDA also lost seats. Turnout was high at 82.6%. And the voters of the Netherlands have given his party an overwhelming vote of confidence, Mr. Rutte told reporters in Parliament. And he conceded that not everything has gone well in the last 10 years, but he said the main issue on the table was how to rebuild the country after the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the news coming from the world of business, federal government approves $1.5 billion for Port Harcourt refinery rehabilitation. The federal government has approved the sum of $1.5 billion for the rehabilitation of Port Harcourt refinery, which is the largest refinery company in the country. And disclosing this at the end of the Federal Executive Council yesterday, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Temipre Silva, said that the rehabilitation, which will be in 3 phases, will commence immediately and will be handled by an Italian firm, Tecnimont SPA. He explained that the first phase will be completed in 18 months, the second phase in 24 months, and the final phase will be within 44 months. He said the funding has 3 components from Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, internally generated revenue, the IGR, and budgetary allocation provisions, and Afremix Bank. And also briefing, the Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Hanire, said the council approved about 3.07 billion naira for 6 contracts for the purchase of various laboratory equipment by a Nigerian Center for Disease Control across the country. And now, still on business news, shareholders okay 94.2 billion, Zenith Bank shareholders okay 94.2 billion naira dividend. And shareholders of Zenith Bank PLC yesterday endorses the 94.19 billion naira dividend proposed by its board of directors for the financial year ended on December 31st, 2020, translating to a dividend per share of 3 naira and after paying 50 kobo per share interim dividend. And the shareholders at the 30th annual general meeting of the bank held at the Civic Center, Victoria Island in Lagos, unanimously approved the audited financial statement for the year 2020, as well as all the resolutions proposed at the meeting. And according to the audited financial results, profit before tax rose by 5% to 255.9 billion naira. From 243.3 billion naira reported in the previous year, despite a challenging macroeconomic environmental exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. And the increase arose from a mixture of growth in the top line and a significant reduction in interest expense from 148.5 billion naira in 2019 to 121.1 billion naira in 2020, significantly increasing the net interest income to 299.7 billion naira in 2020 from 267.0 billion naira in 2019. And the group recorded a growth in gross earnings of 5% to 696.5 billion naira from 662.3 billion naira in the previous year. And it also recorded 8% growth in the non-interest income to 251.7 billion naira at a 1% increase in interest income to 420.8 billion naira in 2020 from 232.1 billion naira and 415.6 billion naira in 2019 respectively. We're going on another short break right now. When we come back, we get news from the world of sports. Stay with us.
From Sunday, we are having 4 Super Sundays. And Super Sunday is miracles, miracles, healing, miracles. So get ready for Super Sundays. It is going to be a great time, but we'll need to pray, and there will be signs, there will be wonders.
4 Super Sundays with Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Date 21st March through 11th April 2021. Happening live at Omega Fire Ministries headquarters, kilometer 132 Benin Okene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. Come witness God's wonders.
Welcome back. Now on sports news. Ahead of the £200 million fight with Fury, Mayweather to train Joshua. Floyd Mayweather has revealed that he intends on working closely with Anthony Joshua real soon, with the two talking all time, according to the boxing legends. And Joshua and Mayweather's relationship has blossomed in recent years, and even saw the 44-year-old surprisingly turn up to see the bride successfully defend his IBF, WBA, and WBO belts against Kubrat Pulev in December. While it isn't clear what the pair working relationship will be, Mayweather insists that he will be looking to help Joshua in some form. Mayweather told Rob Moore on his Disruptive Entrepreneur podcast that Anthony Joshua has a lot of experience, but Tyson Fury also has a lot of experience. And moving on to another story from the world of sports, Europa League, Ibrahimovic fit for AC Milan's clash against Manchester United. Zlatan Ibrahimovic will return from injury for AC Milan's Europa League last 16 second leg clash against the Swedes' former club Manchester United in the San Siro, coach Stefano Pioli said on Wednesday. And Pioli said that the forward Ibrahimovic and midfielder Ismail Beneker are both fit to play a role on today's as Milan targets to the quarterfinals with the 1-1 tie after the first leg in Old Trafford. And Ibrahimovic, 39 years of age, has been out for over 2 weeks, missing the away leg with an adductor muscle injury, while Algerian Benaker has also been sidelined since the mid-February with a muscular problem. And however, Ante Rebic, Dave Calabria, Rafael Leao and Alessio Ragmagnoli are still in doubt with various ailments. Milan have a slight advantage thanks to Simone Gia's stoppage time away goal in the first leg at Old Trafford last week. And Pioli credited Ibrahimovic and Dan Gia with lifting the teams since their arrival in January 2020, despite a recent dip in form for the sides in the Serie A. And that's the size of the news for us today on Celebration Television News Desk. If you're just joining us, here is a recap of the news making the headlines. Bill seeking to eliminate discrimination against women scales second reading. Tanzanians mourn the death of their president. Dutch election, Prime Minister Mark Rutte claims victory and fourth term. Federal government approves $1.5 billion for Port Harcourt refinery rehabilitation. And ahead of the £200 million fight with Fury, Mayweather to train Joshua. And today on our photo of the day, we can see these two photos together, and this is just to tell us that life is like a boomerang. Life is like a boomerang. You get back what you give. So endeavor to give a good thing so that in return you can receive what you have given. Share your thoughts with us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, it is My Celebration TV. On Twitter, it's at My Celebration TV. And on YouTube, it is Celebration TV. Don't forget that your positive contribution to the wellness of the society you find yourself in or the organization you work in defines your leadership might. And as an individual who knows what to do and do without expecting to be pushed, has backed his ways to success. Be it known today that everything we do, think, feel, and believe either have a positive or negative effect on humanity and our national well-being. So, be a part of nation building today. Thanks for watching the news on Celebration Television News Desk. I am Bellis Quetta, and have a wonderful day.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amosu.